morning, America. I'm Ace Avonway.
And I'm Claire Lehus, here bringing you the top news from across the nation. Today, the dirty deeds are all about Flint, Michigan and their water crisis. Flint is located north of Detroit with almost 100,000 people and about 40% living below the poverty line. In hopes of cutting costs in 2007, Flint was prepared to tap into the Flint River as an emergency water source. In 2012, Genesee County announced that a new pipeline was being designed to deliver water from Lake Huron to Flint.
Decades ago, the Flint River had been the city's primary water source, but Flint switched to Lake Huron in 1967, purchasing its supply through the Detroit Water and Sewage Company. The water in the Flint River had always been poor quality with the presence of fecal coliform bacteria, low dissolved oxygen, plant nutrients, oils, and toxic substances.
In the year 2001, the state ordered monitoring and cleanup of 134 polluted sites within the Flint River watershed, which included landfills, industrial complexes, and farms covered in pesticides and fertilizer. The State Department of Environmental Quality was not treating the Flint water with an anti-corrosive agent according to the class action lawsuit.
According to a Virginia Tech study, the water found in the Flint River was discovered to be 19 more times corrosive than water from Lake Huron in Detroit. As a result of improper treatment, lead from aging service lines to homes began leaching into the Flint water supply after the city tapped into the Flint River as its main water source.
Earlier this week, we visited Flint, Michigan to see the water crisis firsthand. This is the Flint River. Nasty, right? Lead is a toxic elemental pollutant that can and will affect many systems in the body, depending on the intensity of the exposure. Lead is found in these waters. Severe lead exposures can cause brain and kidney damage to adults and children, coma, convulsions, and death. Lower levels may impair hemoglobin synthesis, alter the central and peripheral nervous systems, cause hypertension, affect male and female reproductive systems, and damage a developing fetus.
I'm here with Evan Lehus, a second grader from a nearby elementary school here in Flint. Evan, how do you feel about the water in Flint?
It's nasty. I want to go to be smart, not sick. Ugh.
Voter turnout in Flint, Michigan is at an all-time high as polls are short of ballots. This increase in polling was a result of residents wanting to vote against the current member and make legislative changes and influences so the water crisis can be dealt with properly. 40% of the first draw samples, over 5 parts per billion. This means that 101 out of 252 water samples from Flint homes had first draw lead more than 5 parts per billion. As more people have become more unhappy with the statements and actions of the mayor and other officials, political participation has increased because people want to make changes, so more voting and protesting and influencing occurs.
The Environmental Protection Agency is a bureaucratic regulatory agency that regulates, monitors, and creates policy in Flint for their water quality. The federal government has used the Environmental Protection Agency to create rules and regulations for lead levels in drinking water, and states have worked to implement and enforce those rules and regulations, thus exemplifying cooperative federalism. City residents that have been harmed severely have filed cases against members involved in the water crisis, as well as a member of the EPA who knew about the issues and did not inform or take action.
Do you like eating grass? If so, come to the Lehus Grass Emporium today. In October 2015, Governor Snyder signed a Senate bill appropriating $9.35 million to help Flint reconnect with Detroit for water and provide health services for residents. In November, residents filed a federal class action lawsuit claiming 14 state and city officials of knowingly exposing Flint residents to toxic water, including Governor Snyder. In early 2016, Governor Snyder declared a state of emergency in Genesee County, and later, after declaring an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease, Governor Snyder writes President Barack Obama to request the declaration of expedited major disaster in Flint. President Obama declines the request, but authorizes $5 million in aid.
In April of 2016, Flint activists announced the formation of a new initiative, the Community Development Organization. This organization has been created in response to the water crisis, and the nonprofit organization will assist and share information with those affected by the Flint River water switch. Interest groups have influenced and played a part in the crisis because they can make change happen and they can influence what the mayor does and how and whether or not legislation happens.
The media has covered this issue at a very high level because this crisis is nationally known, and people have donated water jugs to families, and groups are coming to Flint for financial and physical aid. Residents of Flint, Michigan have protested and used their First Amendment rights to influence laws and create regulation and push for change.
Here's an example as you can see the Red Cross handing water to the Flint residents in Flint are not waiting, however, for help from others. They are seeking to make change on their own. Many outraged Flint residents have started to protest in different areas of the city. They are creating signs such as the ones you can see, which read, "We want clean water," and "We demand clean water." Other signs have been seen reading a variety of different statements, like "Flint Lives Matter" and "Water is a Human Right." Those who live in Flint have many videos online that show the poor quality of water, such as the one currently seen. They hope to bring national attention to this problem in an attempt to create change in their communities. Many of the Flint residents believe that the governor of Michigan, Rick Snyder, should be fired or even arrested. They have exemplified high levels of public participation as they have created many polls and petitions. The issue in Flint, as you can see, is a very serious one. We will hope to bring you more updates later on in the week about this issue.
This is Claire.
And this is Asa, saying goodbye with your daily news.
Stay hydrated, kids, but not with lead-contaminated water.